Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're totally bypassing all that endless social media noise, the flashy influencer lifestyles and those tired internet arguments. Instead, we're going to zero in on the grounded, structured reality of modern wealth creation here in 2026. If you're looking for the actual nuts and bolts, the mechanics of how wealth is really built, preserved, and compounded without all the motivational fluff, well, you are absolutely in the right place.
So let me ask you this. Is the 1% just a permanent magical club? Millions of people wake up every single morning carrying this quiet, lingering anxiety, this belief that extraordinary financial success is just reserved for someone else, right? Maybe a lucky few who are born into it or a handful of tech billionaires. We kind of tend to view wealth as this locked, impenetrable fortress. But is that actually what the data tells us? No way!
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, Demystifying the 1%.
Here's the truth. Income status is incredibly fluid. It is definitely not a fixed identity. That is a massive misconception. When we look at mobility research and data from central banks, it shows us that households are constantly rising into and falling out of wealth. I mean, some folks hit a temporary windfall from stock options, while others unfortunately fall out due to unexpected health crises or recessions. Wealth isn't some static VIP club. It's actually a highly dynamic economic condition that really depends on how effectively you manage your risk, your skills, and your capital over time.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is, well, while that fluidity absolutely exists, we do have to acknowledge the elephant in the room, right? Inequality remains profoundly real. By the mid-2020s, the top 1% controlled nearly 1/3 of total U.S. household net worth. That is just a staggering concentration of money. So you might be wondering, if mobility is possible but wealth is still highly concentrated, what exactly is the mechanical difference separating these two realities?
That brings us to Section 2, the power of ownership.
Let's look at this side by side. On the left, we have labor. This is exchanging your time for wages. And look, even high-earning professionals like, say, surgeons or corporate lawyers operate over here. But then, on the right side, we have ownership. This is about possessing systems capable of generating value entirely independent of your immediate hourly labor. Think about it. A business owner is sleeping while their digital product sells globally. A shareholder earns dividends. A landlord collects rent. True leverage, the real game changer, only happens when you cross over from labor into ownership.
Because in the 21st century, ownership compounds way faster than labor. Sure, high earners generate a really strong annual income, but the truly wealthy, they accumulate appreciating assets. They acquire businesses, equities, intellectual property, and digital platforms. Honestly, if you take away just one single thing from this explainer today, let it be this. You cannot simply save your way to extraordinary wealth through a salary alone. You absolutely must convert your income into ownership.
Moving on to Section 3, Digital Scale and Entrepreneurship.
Back in the industrial age, starting a business required immense physical capital. You needed storefronts, expensive warehouses, tons of physical inventory. But today, in the digital age, those fixed costs are practically zero. Literally, a solo software creator or developer today can achieve global reach and launch a subscription platform right from a laptop on their kitchen table. A consultant can build an international education business armed with little more than their own expertise and a decent Wi-Fi connection. The old physical barriers to entry have just totally collapsed.
But here is the stark reality check. Technologically, yes, starting a business has never been easier, but psychologically, it is brutally harder. Why? Because you are now operating in a wildly global arena. A young founder in Toronto isn't just competing locally anymore. They are competing simultaneously with founders in California, Berlin, and Seoul. Consumer attention is incredibly scarce, brand loyalty shifts in a matter of seconds, and algorithms pretty much dictate your visibility. Surviving this requires extreme emotional resilience.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 4, Human Capital and AI.
So, what is human capital? Well, it refers to your valuable skills, expertise, discipline, your reputation, and your overall problem-solving ability. It's crucial to understand this. Before you can ever acquire massive financial capital, you first have to develop rare skills that the market actually rewards. Ordinary, repetitive skills, those just get outsourced. But if you can solve complex, high-value problems, whether that's in engineering, quantitative finance, or biotechnology, the modern economy will absolutely reward you. And then enter the great disruptor, AI. By 2026, AI has completely transformed everything, from legal analysis to software development. But notice the key dynamic at play here. It redistributes opportunity. You see, technological revolutions rarely eliminate wealth creation. They just hand it over to the people who adapt the fastest. While AI automates the repetitive tasks, the greatest wealth is flowing straight to the highly adaptable humans who learn how to direct, integrate, and scale these powerful new tools. Let's slow down for a second and shift gears to Section 5, the psychology of time.
They think in decades, while others think in weeks. Let that profound weight really sink in for a moment. The most hidden advantage of the affluent isn't always just raw, pure intelligence. It's actually their time horizon. In our modern consumer culture, which is just so entirely driven by algorithmic entertainment and instant gratification, the wealthy practice delayed gratification. They avoid destructive debt, they prioritize assets over flashy status symbols, and they just quietly let their investments compound over the long haul.
Because persistence matters so much more than glamour. We see these overnight successes and crypto millionaires all over our social feeds, right? It looks so easy. But economic history tells a completely different story. Even the most iconic enterprises, the ones built by figures like Jeff Bezos or Sarah Blakely, they required years, literally years, of quiet experimentation, operational refinement, and repeated, painful failure. Building truly durable systems takes immense patience.
Which brings us to our final point. Section 6, Wealth as True Optionality. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate goal here. Beyond a certain threshold, having more money doesn't magically equal more happiness, but it absolutely equals optionality. Emancipating wealth allows you to support causes you deeply believe in. It allows you to protect your loved ones and invest in your local community. It lets you fund creative projects and pursue work that actually aligns with who you are. Wealth really isn't about mindless luxury consumption. At its best, it is a powerful mechanism for true freedom, safety, and meaning.
So, to summarize our whole journey today, accumulated decisions over time beat luck and shortcuts every single time. The distance between an ordinary financial existence and extraordinary wealth is rarely, if ever, determined by a lottery ticket or some overnight internet hack. It is achieved by those who quietly master difficult, high-value skills, who relentlessly build durable systems of ownership, and who have the emotional discipline to just sit back and let compounding do all the heavy lifting. So I want to leave you with this lingering final thought. What will you do with your own time and your own human capital? The mechanical rules of wealth are laid bare, the digital tools are more accessible than ever before, and the path, while incredibly difficult, is undeniably structured. The very next steps, the skills you choose to learn today, and the systems you choose to build for tomorrow, well, that is entirely up to you. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.
As we move deeper into 2026, one truth is becoming impossible to ignore. Wealth, opportunity, and financial freedom are not reserved for a mysterious elite class. The modern economy is changing faster than at any point in recent history, and those who understand ownership, innovation, skills, and long-term thinking are positioning themselves to rise far beyond average outcomes. Whether through entrepreneurship, investing, technology, specialized expertise, or disciplined financial habits, the path toward the top 1% is no longer limited to inherited wealth or Wall Street insiders. It belongs to people willing to think differently, adapt continuously, and create value in a rapidly transforming world. But this journey is not built overnight. Behind every successful founder, investor, creator, or executive lies years of sacrifice, uncertainty, learning, and persistence. The real secret is not luck, it is consistency compounded over time. In an era shaped by artificial intelligence, global competition, inflation, changing labor markets, and digital economies, the people who will thrive are those who continue learning while others remain comfortable. If you enjoyed this deep analysis and want more book-style explanations on wealth, economics, investing, entrepreneurship, global finance, and the future of money in the United States, Europe, Canada, and beyond, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others who want to understand how the modern financial world truly works. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and questions in the comments below, because the future belongs to those who are willing to understand it before everyone else.